Alexa, turn on computer room light. Alexa, make computer room light white. Okay, there we go. I'm in my game stream. But what I'm talk about, you guys, is I know it's a lot of people out there that be going through a lot, and I'm not to say I'm here to help you, but you know, to make light of the situation, you know, to try and help make light of the situation, you know, because me personally, I don't believe money can resolve problems or issues rather than paying bills or you wanting to go to the store and buy something and you can't afford it. Those are the only problems I feel as if money can solve, you know. Um, it's a lot we finna touch on. Give me a second. I want to bring up my live screen, but I don't want to, whatever. But anyways, it's a lot we still finna touch on though. People wonder a lot of times, is you okay? What's going on? What's wrong? Um, they not necessarily there to help light of the situation or to actually sit and help you at all. They just want for their they just want to know for themselves, you know. So even when there's nothing wrong, they just want to understand you. Like these the things that I came to realize. When no one understands you, they gonna look at you as a problem. It's like a book. I could read a book, and if I can't understand this book, it's not that, you know, some people they'll look at it as like, okay, let me read it again. It's interesting, you know. I still ain't got it yet. But then some people they like, man, that book's stupid. You know what I mean? So you gotta be able to look at things in different aspects. No matter that it's totally different. Yes, everything is different. Me and you is different. Although we are the same, we are both people. We are both human, but we are totally different. You know, um, words can be used like spells. You know, a person say one thing, somebody else say something else. You know, then it started getting misunderstood because it was used in the wrong context, or that person just didn't quite understand what you were saying. People can say things and it's like it's being cast out into the world, being put out into existence, you know? So it's hard not to look at things strange as you start growing older. Like, who made this up? If if so to speak, you know, just looking at everything, okay, who's the first one to do so and so? Anything, you know? I always look at everything like that. Who's the first one to do this? Who was the first one to do that? Where did this come from? You know, that's these be my questions, and no one be able to answer them. I know no one is able to answer them, but it's my questions for me. For it helped me understand. Somebody else attached another label to. It's as if I created an idea, and you come along and say, "Oh, I can make that idea even more better." Now that I done reached, you know what I mean? Even if I passed it down to my children, grandchildren, or so forth, somebody might come along and say, "Hey, I can make this idea even better," or I could do this to this. I could do this and do that. You know. So what I'm saying is, someone has to have came along and redesigned, or added more to it, as in levels, like a difficulty level. Like, who made it so difficult for people to be able to obtain these certain things that they might need in life, or so and so. I was talking to my friends outside the other day, and we was talking about how kids in school should learn about a lot of more things than a lot of things that they do learn in school. And some people may be like, for as in what? Like, for instance, like, tell me, give me an example. Give me an example on the things that they shouldn't be learning in school. Everything that they learn in school is good. Don't get me wrong. But it's certain things that it's like, okay, we taught you so much of this. It's a lot of stuff in school that you do not use throughout life. It's a lot of you should learn financial literacy and things like that. You should learn things like what you should be using throughout your life. You know, if a person say they want to be a doctor, you should show them steps on how and what the things they need to become a doctor, instead of just saying the blah 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 whatever. You know, so like when you at home, your parents are to they give you the babies, they give you the steps throughout your life, like giving you mannerism, and you know, knowing how to talk, knowing how to say your ABCs before you get to school. You know what I'm saying? School gonna teach you a lot of that, but your parents give you that you know, they teach you things about life and stuff, like how to grow up and tie your shoes and things like that. School don't teach you that. School don't teach young ladies on how to pick up a book when they got on a dress. You know, certain schools might do it, but school don't teach you that. School teach you books and things in that, you know. So when you send your child off to school, me personally, every if it's been okay, you got ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th, 12th, all this time throughout high school, even before high school, where you was in middle school, even pre-K or whatever, you've been learning about a lot of this stuff already. You know, pre-K and stuff, you coloring and stuff, but kindergarten and on up, you really starting to learn about a lot of this stuff already. All the way up to 12th grade, you got to teach my child the same social study stuff that not really gonna be used a lot. Um, Maybe if you go on the game show, they may ask you some of these questions, and you could be like, "Hey, I know that," But a lot of this stuff, like, it's like a brainwash. Like, why is you? When I was growing up as a child, I remember they used to ask me that on the test. They removed it now, I'm quite sure, but I was born in 91, so a lot of things that was going on in the 90s, it stopped after that. And a lot of people feel as if I don't supposed to remember, but I remember. And it's not that it affected me, but it played a part in my life. Everything that goes on throughout a person's life, it plays a part. So I don't point a finger. I see things for what it is. But anyways, they used to have on the paper where they ask about household items or certain items, like, do you know what these items are, or something like that. Some items I didn't know what it was, like, even though it might even show the picture of an item that I know what it is, it didn't say the name that we call it. They say they got different names, like, I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, I might say one thing, you might say something else. I got a slang for it, or I might call it a microwave and you might call it something else. I don't know. So it was just different. It was different for me. And certain items I didn't know because we didn't use those items in my house. So looking at things like that and then looking at other people while they taking the test and they know every item on the thing. And I'm like, man, I don't know none of that is, you know? So and it's not that we couldn't afford it or none of that. We always had, um, from all the electronics that came out, any and everything. So I used to be into that a lot, like game wise, hooking up electronics because didn't nobody else actually understand on how to do it. So I had to mostly do that part myself. Um, so I really want y'all to not take this as if, oh man, you ain't got no problems going on. That ain't nothing. No, I I'm just really just talking, and it haven't gotten to nothing personal about me, cause I try to stay away from a lot of that. But if you want me to tell you a little bit of my problems, listen at this. I go to the doctor because my mom has passed, and I need to talk to the doctor so she can write a letter so I can be able to be over my own money because my mom was over my money at the time. So I talked to my card holder and I talked to the my card provider and they told me to go talk to my doctor. They told me it didn't matter what doctor, go talk to my doctor. So when I was doing that, she was telling me she not sure if she could do it. I come back. She told me come back next week. I come back next week. Um, I bring her the paperwork. She's asked me to call the people, she called the people so she could ask them herself about it, because she was telling me if she could do it, she don't mind doing it because I should be over my own money. I'm well of age to be over my own money and things of that manner. She asked me, she talked to him once she got off the phone with him. She started asking me like the regular questions, like what do I use my money on and things like that. I'm like, well, I buy my washing powder, stuff like that, my detergent or whatever. I buy my um I buy my soap. Um I buy my dog food. I give my grand some money every month. Um, you know, like sometimes I be buying, like, let's say like a weed eater, chainsaw, because things need done around the house and stuff like that. So I got little personal items like that. which I call investments because, and I was telling her like I have my own business because as I go out and try to get a job, I haven't really been getting hired. So I started my own business so I can try and bring in my own income or whatever. Um, I buy little personal items like tissue and stuff like that. But I be broke after that. Really, I buy a little smoke because I smoke my weed. And I be broke. Shit like, well, um, I don't think you capable of being over your own money because you be buying weed and something because you smoke and you be buying weed or something. And I'm like, wow, that sound like a lot of nonsense. But she was looking at her paperwork and she said something about whatever the paperwork said. Me, I'm like, I understand that, but she also was asking me a lot of questions like, and before then too, and she was also saying, she asked me like, do I think about killing myself and things like that. I'm like, nah, but it do bother me when you ask me that multiple times, cause she asked me that 3 times, and I was like, I see what you, I get what I get, what I'm saying, I get it, but like, don't do that, cause that it bothered me. Like, point of asking somebody that, like, find a better way to even, you know that is a harsh way to ask somebody, like, do you think about harming yourself or anything, do you think about killing yourself, type of, if I supposed to be coming to you for therapy or anything, that is not the way to, and I started talking to her like that, and that's when she was like, well, yeah, I don't think you capable of being able to build your own money. That's when she said that. I thought about it after I left. Like, yeah, I did kind of. Well, it wasn't kind of. I did basically tell her she wasn't doing her job correctly, and she should think more about her patients when she talked to them, and instead of just going off of what the paper say, she should be able to ask what's on the paper. If her patients tell her one thing, she should be able to write that down and tell them, hey, my patient said this, instead of just going off of what the paper's saying. Cause that make no sense. It's like you steadily poking at the bow. When you see the bow starting to growl, and you like, oh, the bow laughing, look at him. You know, like, come on. When they, you're not getting it. Like, so I be sometimes when people reflect their feelings onto me, I start feeling as if those are my feelings, when really and truly it's not. I don't feel no toward, when I tell people this, I don't know what they thoughts is, but I don't really care no more. I don't care what you may think. When I tell you something like what I'm telling you guys right now, I don't want you guys to look at it and feel like I'm telling you to be this way, because I'm not. Am I saying it's right to be this way? No. I'm just saying this is me. So I tell people I no longer have feelings. I don't care. You know, like, it's not as if I got kids out here and I'm with their mama, or not even with their mama. Just got kids, period. So I'm not out here just, like, it's not as if I'm dying to live or living to die. I'm just living, you know? I'm happy. I'm not I'm not content. I'm never content, And what I mean is I'm never settling. I'm not a settle type person. I always look at life as in a bigger picture. A lot of times people, they get stuck on themselves. I be so into everybody else that I lose sight of myself sometimes. So when I start gathering myself back and I start just focusing on me, people think it's something wrong. No, it's nothing wrong. I just stopped focusing on everybody else. I no longer care, So I have no control over what you do. I can tell you, but you think whatever you think, you know? I'm not finna try and force my thoughts onto you. I'm not trying to force what I say for you to understand. I'ma say it. If you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. Maybe it's not for you. I'm not finna focus on you though. And a lot of people be wanting all the attention on them. I don't got time for that no more. They feel as if something wrong with me when I tell them I don't care. Why don't you care? Why should I care? That's the question. Like, what is it to care? What is you? What is your problems for me to care about? Your problems is for you to worry about and for you to care about and for you to fix them, not me. Just like mine was for me to worry about and me to fix. Nobody came over here and helped me. I had to find myself. I had to find peace, love, happiness. I had to find all that within myself. I try and explain to people. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. I understand. I can tell a person something, but that don't mean that they gonna understand. That don't mean they gonna do it. I shouldn't care. As long as I told them, it's over with. I'm not finna force you to do what I think that's right for you. You might not think it's right for you. So hey, I'm gonna let you be. But then I'm wrong for that. When they find out that I was right. Most times people say, nah, you ain't never tell me that. You ain't never say that. You know what I mean? So it's it's no longer on me to fix their problem. I used I told a lot of people when I was growing up, invest in Bitcoin. Nobody wanted to hear it. I was in middle school talking about invest in Bitcoin. I knew what Bitcoin I was trying to buy Bitcoins before Bitcoins started even I can't say, but I wanted to invest in Bitcoin as soon as they started. I seen them say, "Hey, you can buy Bitcoin." I'm like, "Wow, they gave up on them." Hey, but anyways, you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Nobody wanted to help me invest into that. You know, like I said, when I was growing up, I always had everything. It's just certain things we couldn't afford, like, upgrading. I couldn't get the highest PC or the highest, but I was able to I was able to stay afloat. Just like now. It's not to where like right now I don't have nothing. I'm gonna be honest. Once my mom passed, I was with nothing. And right now I'm still with nothing. Um I was explaining that to the doctor. Like, my mom, she already had me over my own money. It wasn't that she ain't have possession of or nothing. Me and her been trying to get everything situated to where I could be over my own money. And the doctor even was like, yeah, I don't know why you ain't over your money now anyway. So, and the people told me to have her to sign a paper, but once I contradicted her job, it seemed like she was like, nah, I don't think you're able to be over your own money. So I do go through things myself. I can get somebody else to be help me get over be over my own money, but it be a struggle for that as well. Nobody actually trying to help you like they need help themselves. When it's something that they need to get done, they is on the move. They is on the ball. Me growing up, I used to save my money. I used to clean up. I used to just do everything and everything to try and please my mom, my granny, and things in that manner, cause those was the women in my life, besides my sister. But the things I when I was trying to please them, for some reason I got looked at as something wrong. I stayed in my room a lot of times playing on the video games. Used to come out and ask people, "Hey, you want to come play the game with me?" But I done mastered the game by this time. I get tired of playing against the computers. I put it on the highest difficult level, and I get tired of playing against them because I done mastered the game. You know, um, it's a lot of things I used to do as a child. I never liked the meat. I still to this day really don't like meat. I eat it because it's something to eat. If I could eat lettuce, fruits, vegetables, any stuff like that all day, I would. But you know, hey, but like I'm saying, you don't put your focus on other people. Focus in on yourself. Although you enjoying watching YouTube, you enjoying watching my videos, you still have to take everything and focus in on yourself, not someone else. Not even if you're in a relationship. Don't put it on that person as if they need to get better. Still focus on you, as in what you need to do for yourself. Maybe then that person will just smooth out for you like butter. They'll just rub off for you like that, you know what I'm saying? They'll just fall in line like a shadow or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't need negative energy. If you have negative energy around you, you should remove it, or you should just start meditating and just soothing your energy around you. You know, um, focus your energy on you and stop letting other people take it, because it's very draining. Once you start engaging into that conflict with someone else, they win. They have got what they wanted. So me, I told the doc, I said, "Hey, I'm a streamer. I got my own clothing line. I told about the personal items I buy. Maybe I buy too much dog food and stuff like that for my dogs, but those my babies. You know, they need food right now. It's a lot of stuff that I need to buy some washing powder right now. Well, I don't use washing powder. I use the detergent or Purex or whatever. I need to go buy some of that. I need to buy some dog food because my dogs ain't got no dog food right now. Um, I need to go get some soap for me. You know, and I also need to get some soap for my dogs because my dogs ain't had a bath neither. These are the four main things I could really think of, and I need some toothpaste, mouthwash, or whatever, either or both really. So these the six main things that I really need, but I cannot afford. Why? Because they say I cannot be over my own money. It's not they. It was she. And not to talk about, but she was my skin tone, and it was her first time being able to be in that type of position that she know of, because she didn't know she had that authority at first. Like I said, I wasn't even gonna be that. What was the point of me coming the next week? She told me last week, yes, come on back, and I'll do it for you. I come back, and she like, I don't know why they don't got you over it no way, and she make the phone call. It wouldn't been like it would, and she even asked for their fax number and everything, like she finna fax it to them. But as soon as she got off the phone and she started asking me these questions, and I was telling, and I once I started telling her like I don't like being asked questions multiple times and shit. Like I know it's just on the paper. I was like, I understand that, but can't you do your job differently? Don't you know how to do your job without having to do it off the paper? Like, can't you just write down what I'm telling you, and you tell them, hey, or whatever, or you ain't gotta answer that question no more because you already see that I didn't. Or can't you word it different? You know, I started talking to her like that, so I felt as if I did too much. I did too much, you know. Um, but at the same time, like, don't push a person buttons. Don't abuse your authority. It's a lot of things, and it's a lot of times when I was younger, I didn't actually react on a lot of things. I didn't actually say a lot of things. I stayed to myself, and it was better that way. You know, a lot of times I don't speak about the things that I witnessed. I don't speak about the things that actually went on, and people would ask me what happened. I don't say nothing. I was like, it ain't on me to say that. So they look at me like I'm crazy, something wrong with me, or whatever. You know, that's how they labeled me. They got me in this little box to where you view me as this one way. Everybody say this one thing, so now everybody look at it this one way. Now I did have anger and aggression against a lot of things when I was growing up because of the things that was taking place around me in my household, and I didn't want to take it out on my family, so I took it out on others. You know, and that's actually what was going on, but nobody actually know these things. I don't mind sharing it because it's ways to talk about it. It's ways to say things without saying things. It's ways to do things without doing things. People need to stop focusing on. A lot of times people be like, oh, how you doing, and trying to treat people with conditions a certain way when that's unhuman, that's unhumane. You do not want a person to come at you like that. You don't want a person to down you down, so you do not supposed to come at a person like that. When people start doing that, I look at them and I be wondering like, what's wrong with them, you know and the people that it's not the people with conditions, it's the people that's around them. You know, the people with conditions, a lot of them, they love me, cuz they even kids, they love me cuz I have a great understanding with God, and they'll be the most godliest ones right there. People feel as if kids don't have understanding and or whatever. Like, okay, they probably don't grasp on like to things like we do, but for the most part, they have way more understanding than a lot of grown people. And I'm just being honest, like, and I'm talking about babies. Like, you can sit them and teach them everything. You can't teach a grown person nothing. So how can you say they don't understand? Clearly they understand. You know, you just got a lot of effed up people out here in the world that don't spend the time and don't try and educate and don't. That's why I be so proud that these kids be growing up and being able to be fast like they is at times because parents not doing it. Parents just going to work and coming home telling their child to go sit down, go outside or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They not actually spending the time with their kids. They out having fun themselves. So they out there being a kid, you know? So I be proud that these kids being able to pick up these phones and learn as fast as they is because parents not teaching them. These parents not doing the things like parents was doing, you know? And when I was growing up, a lot of parents wasn't doing it then neither. So that's why I say I be proud that these kids coming out as smart as they is. They need it. They need it. They be talking about, oh my child so smart. He need to be. You ain't teaching him nothing. You just want to send him to school and think that's it. That's not it. Oh no, I ain't never gonna put a gun in my child's hand. Why? He might need to learn how to shoot. Need to know what this is, how it work. That don't mean he gonna be a killer. You know what I'm saying? Teach me about life. Teach me about. Some people want to know about it all. Some people, and now that you excluded him, now that he see it for the first time, now he really want. Now he really want to know what is this? How this work? You know what I'm saying? That's what you don't want. You don't want the person who's older, who's seeing this for the first time, to be so fascinated about it and want to experience it now. Like some people on drugs. They just get so fascinated about this and so fascinated about the high or whatever. Now they looking for the a next high. You know, I'm not here to down nobody. I'm just trying to give y'all enlightenment, trying to help you think for yourself instead of just let the books think for you. We get the basics. It give you knowledge, but you still supposed to think for yourself. Like you got to make your own decision. It give you the basics. It give you the knowledge. It don't mean go back to the book for the answer. When you taking a test, you can't go back to the book for the answer. When I went to the doctor, she don't supposed to be you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of things that goes on throughout life. Nobody actually know what goes on with another person unless somebody tell them. Then they still might not know the full story unless they get it from the other person, unless this person is so um they just a truthful person, like and they don't leave out no, you know what I'm saying, they don't leave out nothing. So it's hard to actually, especially like a person, if you ask them something, then next week you ask them the same thing, instead of that person saying, I don't remember, or trying to say something, then be like, oh no, that's what I said, that's what I meant, you know, like that. It's it's hard for me to explain, but I never change on the type of person. I say I never changed my story on how I grew up and things I went through, but I always try and change as a person. But some people, even when I try and tell others, like, man, don't do this, don't do that, some people would be like, you do it, but you do it. I'm not even talking to you, and that's not even for you to even say right now. That's not even cool. I don't sit there and tell you. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that when you be trying to tell somebody something. It's a lot that I done witnessed with other people, but I do not down them. You know, a lot of things that goes on, people feel like you can be the problem, or you coulda You could have fixed it. You could have been a resolution. You could have fixed it or whatever. But sometimes it's not on you. You know, as a child growing up, your parents supposed to provide you a lot of things and give you a lot of tools and things like that for you to be able to achieve in a lot or receive a lot of things. You know, but if they put you in a position to where you is not able to do so, that's not your fault. Once you grow up and you're able to go out and try and get things on your own, depending on your situation, depending on how far in the hole they put you in, it's hard for you to climb up out of that. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't even try and understand it. A lot of people don't look at that type of situation. I always sit back and try to observe everything. If I see a person doing nothing, trying to do nothing, as in you never really working, you never really putting up no forth the effort to even show that you trying to do better for self, I can't help you. But if I see a person who's struggling but they trying, I can help you. Although I know you struggling, I can still try and help you because you trying, you know. um I used to want to be I used to think about stocks and bonds and trade market and you know finances. I used to think about taxes and things like this growing up. Like I want to understand how a lot of this work. Never thought about going to college to learn these things. A lot of times when I was growing up, I was bad. So in school, like I my middle grade through high school and even before then, I was bad. Like I always got in fights. Most times people would pick fights with me first because I was small. I was a small child. So it started being looked at as if I was the problem child because I was always in a fight. But it's different people that pick on me. So you know what I'm saying? It's not sometimes it became to where I started picking on people because I got tired of it. You know what I mean? So I started becoming a bully myself, even though I was small. It's just like, man, come on. You know, you beat them or you join them. And so I kind of joined them. Like, I'm tired of y'all picking on me. I'm going to start picking on people. You know, I was small, but I always, it's neither here nor there because like I say, I always be trying to elevate. I'm trying to do better with myself. So I don't like talking down on my past. I don't like going back on that. It's a lot of things I did in the past that I'm not proud of. But at the same time, it's like I'm happy because I'm still here. But at the same time, it's like, you know, like what was going on, you know. So I admit, like, yeah, I at times in my life, I could see where somebody might be like, man, something wrong with him. But really and truly, it's something wrong with what's going on, like around me and stuff like that. Nobody actually knew my age growing up. My mom them did. Besides that, but once I leave the house, nobody actually knew my age. They thought I was way younger than what I was. Um, it's not the way I act, cause every older person that I ever met always told me, and I always thought I was way more mature anybody else that they met. They always told me that. Grown men to men, people my age. You know what I'm saying? So, and it'd be amazing to me that these women, even when I become old enough, that they would choose to mess with these men that they know that ain't shit compared to what they saying I am. I realized then, like, oh, those type dudes y'all want. So me, instead of me becoming that type of dude, I just moved out these dudes' way and letting them get the females. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed myself growing up, but I'm not type of person to just degrade myself. And why I say degrade myself is because if that's not the type of woman I'm looking for, or if that's not the type of person I'm trying to be no more, I'm not trying to be this type of person no more, but you want that type of person, I would degrade myself acting like I'm that person, you know? Or I would degrade myself accepting you into my life when I don't want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. I'm not doing that. I don't want to be with them type of women because they mind clearly not made up, and I'm not trying to be that type of dude because it's just a lot to it. Like, I could tell a woman the truth and I'd be happy with that. Me lying to you, playing games and all that, I ain't cool with that. Like, if that's what you want, if you want to do to waste your time telling you he love you, he care, cool. I ain't for that. Cause I ain't finna be sitting around telling you, now I'll tell you I love you, I'll tell you I care, but at the same time I don't. Like, not as much as you might think I do. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm not finna put my all into something that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest. And like, only thing I put my all into like that, my kids. And I told my mom, like, man, I don't want to keep going. I start another lie. GML, let's get this money, family. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'ma start back streaming another time. But yeah, man. Try not to let people bother you and get triggered by a lot of things that's going on. Even when you do, try and readjust yourself and you know, just try and readjust yourself and take your time with it.